Order, and we'll ask Josh Turnbull if he would lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
As you may have noticed, we did something a little different this time. We emailed the minutes for you guys to read and go over to see if there were any corrections that needed to be made from our January 24th meeting. Does anybody have anything? Yeah, they were.
Okay, I didn't see them on there, but I thought last.
Thank you very much.
I thought I had Pat from Courtside on there. I don't have a copy in front of me.
I don't see it. Yeah, I don't see that, but yes, she was, and I guess is that her daughter?
Heidi.
Her daughter? Okay. And I'm not sure, I don't know if anybody else has anything. Yeah,
I do. On the second page, where it's talking about Bob Ryle held a meeting, 2:15, that was his meeting, not ours.
Yeah.
That
that's what she said. Hell,
should not be in our minutes, though. Am I not correct, Mr. Van Voort?
Well, if there's an announcement about it, it could be in there, but I don't specifically remember an announcement being about it.
Lisa from TDOT, when it was asked to be on the agenda in case anybody had a question, she asked for it to be on there in case anybody had a question, and she said at the meeting with Bob Ryle, Leah had asked about flattening Courtside.
I don't have a recollection one way or the other, but if it in fact was stated, it could be in the minutes, but I just don't recall myself.
That was stated
So,
at the meeting.
yeah.
so it can be in there. If it was stated, it can be in
You guys may correct me since we just went through the academy. Last time we used the word table to put it off. I think that's the wrong term. We should have put postponed. Table means you're basically dismissing it and not going to bring it back up. So that's the only thing I saw.
Okay, I'll change it.
And there, just for clarity as well, you can defer an action to the next meeting.
Correct.
You can table it, and as you're saying, it's tabled until someone brings it up. If it's approved as a vote, you're going to vote on that table.
Yeah. I mean, that's just what they told us in the academy.
Yes, sir.
If no one has anything with the corrections, do I hear a motion to approve the regular minutes?
Motion.
Caleb makes a motion. Second?
I'll second it.
Ricky seconds it. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
No?
No. Sorry.
Okay. All right. All right, the same for the wastewater minutes, February 14th. Did everybody get a chance to read over those? And are there any questions? I hear a motion to approve those minutes.
I'll make a motion.
Caleb makes a motion to approve. Second?
I'll second.
Josh seconds. Next thing on the agenda is old business. And the first item on the old...
Mr. Mayor, you got to take a vote.
Oh,
Just wait.
that's sorry, jumping ahead. Do I have let's see. Those that approve the wastewater minutes say aye.
Aye.
No? Okay, sorry about that. Now, the next item is old business. And the first thing on the old business is the property code violations update.
Mr. Mayor, Council, regarding the 4350 Highway 48 North, that's the Clayton Homes matter that we refer to, is that presently is in possible settlement negotiations. I just wanted you all to know that. Certainly, I'm not going to go into detail any more than that. If you all want to know, you can contact me, or we can have an executive session and go into more detail. If there's something, if it comes to a point of resolution, I will bring it to you all, obviously, for approval. On 3015 Banner Highway, that's James Barnes' property. As I understand it, the city is still monitoring that property against 3015 Banner Highway. He had been sent letters, and I'm not sure if there's any update.
I don't think there's a camper there anymore.
Okay, we're good to remove him off the list.
I mean, it's right across the road, but I think it's gone.
Okay, I'll just remove him from the list if that's satisfactory to the council. So, as to 1701 Hayshire Road, Charlotte, that's the one that had the permit that had expired for construction, and it also has a lot of debris and trash, and we have sent numerous letters. Some of the ones that we sent certified came back, but those that were sent U.S. mail did not come back. I would suggest at this point that you pursue enforcement of that, because I know it's not cleaned up.
Okay.
So
The last inspection was July of last year, is what the county had told me.
Okay. So with your all's approval, I'll move forward for enforcement of our code.
Need a motion to do that?
You can, if you want to handle it that way, it's however you all want to handle it. We've done it by motion, and we've done it by you all just generally, I'm seeing a nod of the heads.
Okay. So does the nod mean you want to make a motion, or?
If he's good with
Why
everyone,
don't we just get into a practice of, let's
Okay.
make a motion on it that way.
I'll make a motion to pursue
Enforcement of the code.
the enforcement of the code.
Okay, have a second?
I'll second it.
Josh seconds. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
I'll pursue on with that.
Okay.
The next property is at 116 Portal Court. That property, I think we are monitoring. We've sent letters out on that. And I would suggest that we basically pass it to March to see what the status is and see if they're in the process. The next one is at 105 Hooper Drive. This is a property we've been dealing with for years. And it's a constant battle. And at one point, it was very thoroughly cleaned up and was in good shape. And as I understand, it's probably in the same condition. So I would suggest at this point we just pursue court action. I don't know what else to do. So I would suggest we pursue enforcement.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want
Make
Right.
a motion.
to?
I'll make a motion.
Okay, that makes a motion to pursue action at 105 Hooper Drive.
Yes, sir.
Second. Ricky seconds. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
No, opposed? Okay.
Mr. Mayor, the last property is at 1775 Hayshire Road. That is a property that we've sent certified letters to. I have had contact. The owner of the property emailed me and indicated that he wanted to know what was needed to clean the property up, and I suggested he contact City Hall and to be provided a specific list of items, and it seems like they're going to move forward with that. So that's what I anticipate. I would suggest we pass that to March.
What address was that?
1775 Hayshire Road.
Okay. Is that Guy Thompson?
That's Mayo.
Oh, Mayo, okay.
Yes. Mayor, those are the updates, unless you all have other properties that you want to discuss or bring up. All right. That's my report of those properties.
Okay. The next item on the agenda on the old business is the community center / civic center. We were contacted, I think, back toward the first of the month that the final plans will be completed in 2 months. So I don't know if that means they'll be finished to present them in the March meeting or not. So anyway, that's where we stand with that. The next item is the old jailhouse. I got in contact with two appraisers. One referred me to another one because he was only a residential appraiser, so he referred me to a commercial appraiser. And he told me he would have it done by the end of the month. We're here at the end of the month and I haven't received anything from that. So I guess we'll wait.
Did Mr. Rowell ever say, did you ever have a chance to see if he was interested or anything like that?
Yes, he is.
Okay, okay.
He is. And I just thought, once we get the appraisal, then we can talk it over and see, because he wants to move the codes, building codes and stuff, remodel that and move the building codes there.
Okay.
And plus, I don't know if any of you noticed, but the high winds yesterday blew the cap off the top of the chimney and several bricks out onto the road. So anyway, it's in desperate need of something happening to that. All right, the next item is chapter 2.
It also damaged the roof.
Yeah, I don't doubt that. I didn't look at it that close. The next item is chapter 2, 2.04. It has to do with the vote of the mayor. Do you want to elaborate?
Mr. Mayor, I was requested to do some research, and I did. I presented that to you all, kind of in conjunction with the mayor's voting ability and kind of what was reported in meetings. Certainly, you all are well aware that you cannot have proper deliberation and decision discussion between yourselves. Certainly, as I've said in meetings, you can ask the mayor, what happened to the roof with the storm, and he can tell you what happened. But as far as getting into what are we going to do with the problem, those type things, because as I stated in the memo, the mayor is a member of a governmental body, and obviously he is a voting member. As far as amending the charter, I provided to you all the process within that memo. If you decided you want to do that, that is the process. Or if you want to amend the charter for any reason, that is the process. So, Mayor, I'll turn it over to you, or you all have the information there.
I just want to say thank you. It was a great memo. And I will not be making a motion to change.
So just leave it. As
Absolutely.
far as you're concerned, leave it as it is.
Absolutely.
How do you feel about that, Mr. Mayor?
What?
I'm just curious.
It doesn't make me any difference. I mean, actually, the only time I would get a vote is when there's a tie. And it would be to break the tie. I'm disappointed because I was kind of like you guys. I'd like to be able to talk about some of these things, but I know we can't outside the meeting. However, I'm certainly for maybe us having work sessions so that we can come together and discuss some of these things without having to vote.
Mr. Mayor, I think that's well said. You are able to vote. You're able to vote on everything that the council's able to vote. It would be whatever the vote is. It would be 7-0 or 6, whatever it would be. So it's more than just a tie-breaking vote.
Right.
Of course, if someone is absent, you're able to vote as well.
Yeah.
So just for clarity.
Yeah.
So not just to break a tie.
No, sir. He has.
It votes just like city council votes.
Yes, sir. Pursuant to the charter.
I would have the right to, correct?
Yes, sir.
I wouldn't have to vote.
No, sir. You wouldn't have to.
Yeah.
Does he have to get a answer? Or so if he didn't want to vote, I don't remember what that's called, I'm sorry. If I didn't want
He
to
could
vote.
abstain.
Abstain?
Abstain,
Yeah.
okay.
But in effect, it counts as a no vote.
Sure.
Since you're present
Right,
and abstaining,
right.
it essentially counts as a no. Because you need 4 to
I know we
pass.
haven't come to that situation, I'm just trying to learn a little bit too.
Yeah. So we all are.
Sure, sure.
All right, anything else on that? All right, now we get to the new business, and it was brought to my attention that Chris Deloach has, we got Chris Deloach's statement, so we'll let him make,
Sure. Sure, no, there's been a couple of things that have happened over the past couple of weeks that I would personally like to just bring to the attention of the council, as well as just have it in an open meeting. I don't personally like finding out things through the Dixon Herald. I'm sure nobody does, especially when it's something like this. So there was a records request filed against me. It was for my emails pertaining to the City of Charlotte business. That happened 2 weeks ago, I believe. Is that correct, Mr. Vanderpool? I think it was February. I can't exactly remember, I'm sorry. And then during that same week, okay, so this is dated February 13th. During that same week, there was a complaint filed against me to the Tennessee Comptroller Office stating that I had engaged in deliberations outside of public meetings. I personally would like you guys to be aware of that. I'd like you guys to be aware of that as well. I don't know why or what the goal was. I guess I'll just wait and see. I did contact the Tennessee Comptroller's Office. I won't, maybe you should speak on the legal side of that, Mr. Vandervoort. I don't think they're, basically what they told me, they're not the enforcers of anything. They just take the complaint and basically document it. Again, they don't do any investigative work or anything like that, so I feel like it's, me personally, I appreciate people being open and honest. I'm being open and honest with you. I don't think I did anything wrong, but you're not going to find out through the paper that this happened. You found out tonight, so. Something else, Mr. Mayor, that I would like to clear up, because the Herald stated, and you may have been misquoted, or I may have it wrong, so please don't take this in any type of way. In the Herald, they stated, the mayor also noted that the plan included the traffic light improvements. I went back and listened, and I was under the impression that the three-way had nothing to do with the sidewalk vote. Is that correct? That is correct? Okay. So that's still in play. It is separate. The three-way enhancement, traffic light, all of that does not have anything to do with anything that's transpired in any other meeting.
right, that's correct.
Okay. I just want to make sure. I think it's kind of just worded weird, and maybe I just read it weird. I'm not sure, but I wanted to make sure because there have been people on social media stating that was part of it. So I wanted to make sure I was clearly communicating to them. It's also brought to my attention by multiple people, either via social media or just flat out calling me or whatever. They wanted an explanation as to why I voted the way that I voted. I feel like I documented it very well in the October, November, and December meeting. However, they stated they listened to, including some media members, listened to the meetings, and they said they did not hear me document that well. So I would just like to run through that really quickly, if that's okay. 3 key points as to why I voted the way I did. Project communication, location and safety, and community feedback. Project communication really stems from the idea of the project originating to be for the square, and that was moved in 2020 per our October meeting. And I have some minutes down here as well in case we can actually go listen to them on YouTube now so it can be fact checked. October meeting, minute 22, you can hear it discussed that the project was moved in 2020 to not be on the square. Let's see. And then in the November meeting, it was stated the city knew the project was going on Highway 48 a couple of months after the grant was awarded in 2020. Again, that has all been said in meetings already. I don't think there's anything to really hash out. Some concerns that I had to do with the citizens and businesses that were affected by this project not being contacted until TDOT sent them a letter in September of 2022. Again, documented in, I believe it was the October meeting by citizens that came. So that kind of covers the project communications piece of it. Location and safety. In the December special called meeting, minute 31 through 33, you can hear me state, me personally, I don't want my kids walking down 48. I don't think many people want their kids walking down 48. And a sidewalk is not going to stop someone from hitting you. I understand it gives you a little bit more room. I don't see anyone walking down 48 because they want to. End quote. If you continue to listen between minute 31 and minute 33, you will hear a council member as well as the mayor agree that we don't think little children should be walking down Highway 48. Again, that was during this December special call meeting, minute 31 through 33. And it is labeled on YouTube as the January 24th meeting. That was actually the December call meeting. I think it was just a mislabel. So, the location and safety piece of it, I didn't really understand who this project was for. If we were kind of all in agreement that we didn't really want children walking to it, well, the sidewalk led straight to the school, so I don't really know who's going to be walking on it. Again, in the November meeting, minute 28, you can hear me ask, is there an option to change the scope or change the plan for the sidewalks? The answer that was given, quote, Lisa did not come tonight because she said she tried to look for other options on this and could not get anywhere with it, so she is waiting to see how the vote goes. My next question was, so they looked at their options and said there are no other options? And the answer that was given, yes, that is correct. I think that kind of covers the location and safety. Community feedback. I think we all understand this, but I'm only speaking for myself. Nobody came to one meeting stating that they wanted these projects. Not one time. I personally reached out to as many people as I could. The majority, 99% of the feedback I received was they were not for it. The people that did push back on the idea of it not happening, the only reasons they gave were they did not like throwing away the money, which I completely and totally respect and understand. Again, this was kind of requested. I don't really want to play the social media game. That's really not how I like to work. I don't think it's professional. I think it's a bad look on our city. I think it's a bad look on myself if I was to do that. So, there was a lot said on social media. There were some accusations of personal agendas made by people that are in this room right now. And if there's ever a time to bring those up, this is the time, in my opinion. I don't personally gain from anything of this. I didn't enjoy this. I think it's been stated clearly in October meeting and November meeting by multiple council members, no matter which way they voted. Nobody enjoyed being put in this position. It was not a fun position. Is that fair, Mr. Mayor? Mm-hmm. No matter what side you were on. Again, I don't know why. I don't know why it turned into this. I don't know the professional term for it, but this mud throwing contest all of a sudden. It was, honestly, it brought on more questions than answers for me. And anyway.
Can you elaborate on the mud throwing?
I can't. Do you want me to read it?
Yeah,
Sure. Would you like me to quote what you put?
Yeah, I just want to know what was said that wasn't true.
We're still waiting on a response that makes sense. We voted yes for the safety of our kids in Charlotte. The safety of the kids was put on the back burners for personal agendas.
Okay.
So
How is that how is that mudslinging?
So I would just like to know, what personal agenda do you believe I have with my vote?
I don't know. It sounds like you took the personal agenda of one or two people and not the whole community of Charlotte. I mean, that's all I.
So you think I
So you
voted-
think that was mudslinging?
I do believe that there is a professional way to address that.
Okay.
And I don't think I don't think there's one thing professional about Facebook.
Okay. Well, then why are you on Facebook?
Because I have family, why are you on
Well,
Facebook?
delete it. You know, if it's not professional.
No, I mean,
delete it.
I'm here to address it in a public meeting.
Right. That's what we're doing.
We're all adults, honestly.
Okay,
Caleb.
that's enough. We're not gonna get in an argument over something that happened 2 or 3 months ago. It's done with, and I don't do Facebook either. I don't do any social media because it's nothing but a way to say bad things about people. I mean, I went through 34 years of answering a phone call with complaints, and they'll talk to you one way on the phone, but when they come face to face, they talk completely different. And that's all social media is. But
Absolutely.
anyway, there's no sense in us continuing on with this. It's done, and it don't need to be brought back up. I do appreciate you bringing.
Okay. Well, and 2 weeks ago, Mr. Mayor, I was the one that had a records request against me, and I was the one that had a file put against me for the comptroller's office.
Yeah.
But if you
No, I'm talking to him. He's talking to me.
go ahead then.
So that does feel personal to me, number one, and number two, that is a reflection of me as well as the city.
Yeah.
I do see that as city business.
Yeah.
And why it was done, I don't know.
But
I have no clue. And honestly, you don't have to have a reason to make a records request. That's all well and good, and I'm okay with that. I find it interesting that I was the only one that had the records request filed against me.
Well, I think the reason for that is because you sent me the email first, another public official, and then you copied the city attorney on that email. But then I didn't respond.
About what?
It had to do.
Was it about any type of vote?
It had to do with, I think, what was being posted on Facebook.
But it had nothing to do with something we were voting on.
Yeah, but there was, I don't remember exactly. I'd have to go back and read it. But it was discussing some city business. If I would have responded to that email, then you and I would have been discussing some city business.
Okay. So I don't believe it was anything that was being discussed in a vote or something that could have been voted on, period. Again, we sit here and say that this isn't personal. I'm talking for myself now. These last 2 to 3 weeks have been very personal.
Yeah.
So,
Well, like I said, I'm ready to put this behind us and move on and do the job that we were elected to do, and that's take
Absolutely.
care of the city.
absolutely, and I'm all for that.
Okay.
I'm all on board with that.
And if you can't handle it, I mean, you can step down. I mean, Facebook.
Oh, I can handle it.
Facebook's going to be there. I mean, for
Sure.
everybody. So
Absolutely.
if you can't handle it, you need to step down.
Well,
And
and if you can say that I have a personal agenda on Facebook, I would appreciate discussing it with me. Caleb, I've known you longer than anyone.
I know you.
You know?
Look, I'm not going to say this again. That's it. That's it. Nothing else. Melinda, you had your hand up.
I did have my hand up because I want to know in that email, how did it violate the sunshine law? Because he wasn't asking the mayor to vote on anything, and he wasn't talking about anything in the agenda. I'm confused now.
So the concern is that if the mayor responded, what it was about,
Right, 'cause
it
what
was
if-
about town business, and it was about,
So even,
so it was about town business, it was about employment. So,
oh, okay,
that's why,
okay.
for the sake of, again, we're,
Okay, I understand.
yeah, so they don't,
But if I need,
certainly can raise the issue, but it needs to involve council.
right,
So-
but my question is, if I send the mayor an email and say I'd like to be put on the agenda for
That's-
painting the city red, in the city building red, am I violating?
No.
No, that's not, that's a
No.
request to be on the agenda.
Where the problem would be is when you said that or asked that, you
And
would,
said, "Oh,
what do you think?
Yeah,
What
would
do
you
you
vote
think,
with
and why,
me?
Yeah.
why do you want to,
Yeah.
why do you want that on there, for what reason, detailing, getting into
Yeah.
depth of the discussion? That's deliberation. No deliberation, no discussion for the vote.
And anytime anything is sent to the City of Charlotte email address or my email address, it is forwarded to him or brought into the office, it is told to him.
Well, I've given my reasons again for my vote. I appreciate it if nobody from the city stated that they do not know why I voted. I think it's very well documented.
Well, I think
I've
it-
said it again. I would appreciate nobody from the city hall stating they have no idea why I voted the way I did.
Right.
You may not agree with it, and by the way,
That's-
I'm okay with that.
Yeah,
You know, I think there was some healthy discussions during this process, and there's going to be more healthy discussions. I'm perfectly okay with that.
move on. Melinda, we didn't add yours to the agenda. Really, I think that might be left up for our work session, because I think some things that you brought up to be discussed concerning the compliance of the city of Charlotte not being in compliance with the CMFO Act, well, that has been resolved.
Right.
And so we are in compliance. We have received the money that the state was withholding for the past 4 years from the city. So that's been resolved.
I have one question. Now, how much was it?
I don't know exactly.
55,000.
For a year? Yeah.
It's over 250,000. I'm sorry, I'm bad with math, but
No, it'd be a little over 200,000.
200,000.
No, that's how much we were given. So I was told that someone was telling Stevie Smith it was 180,000, but that's not correct at all. I'm waiting. The last check we got was for $55,000, so they're probably doing it in installments.
Yeah, I don't know. I just know Mark from the CMFO that contacted me about this. I thought he told me it could be $54,000 to $57,000 a year. That's where I'm coming up with the money. So apparently they don't give it to you all in one installment.
Right. We don't have a CMFO though, correct? Jennifer is not certified.
Yeah, we do. We contracted.
You hired a CPA.
Yeah.
How much did that cost us?
I am in school.
Excuse me, but I'm talking to the mayor.
I can't remember right off the top of my head how much it is, but it's certainly a lot less, a whole lot less than the money that was being withheld from us. And like I said, that would only be for a year. And then we either renegotiate the contract or we'll have one in-house that will be certified.
So we'll be discussing, so we'll, not really speaking on this, but working session, what does that really entail?
Well, it's where, basically, you can correct me if I'm wrong, it's basically where we can come together and meet, and we just discuss stuff. It's not to vote on anything, it's not to make motions or anything like that. We just discuss items or issues that we feel like we need to address. That way we can, yes.
Mr. Mayor, so he's absolutely right. It's not a voting, process. You're noticing the meeting because it's a public meeting, but it's an opportunity to discuss issues and voice your opinions and hear one another out, and then you come to a regular formal meeting. It's not unusual for a town to do that. As a matter of fact, it's a practice by many towns, and it's something you all should consider. Because of my opinion, exactly what's going on, you're needing to know one another's thoughts. And you can do that. You can do that in an open meeting, and not necessarily have to cast a vote on it. So, Mayor, thank you.
Yeah.
And is that kind of how budget, when we start discussing budgets, is that how that works? I've never been, I don't know, how do we, when we come up to discuss the new budget, because that was on our agenda, I think, last month, as to, hey, I think you just said,
Yeah.
be thinking about, kind of what you're thinking with the budget. Is that handled in a working session? Has it been done in the past? How does that exactly work?
I'm not sure.
The financial statements I gave everyone tonight is in 7 months in relationship to the budget of last year that was approved from the former council. So you can see everything that's spent versus what was budgeted.
So when it comes time to talk about the new budget, will we be meeting together to discuss the new budget? I guess is what I'm asking.
I don't see why we couldn't. I mean, I don't see why we couldn't have a work session,
Yeah.
which would be a better thing to do.
And I know, and the reason I ask is I know the budget gets approved via vote, right?
Yeah,
But we
right.
can speak specifically on specific line items of the budget and how they work.
Exactly.
Just can't.
But it'd have to be in an open meeting, so a working session, I think, would be
Yeah.
a good thing.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we'd be hashing it out here in a
Right.
regular meeting.
Sure. I just wanted, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I had several things.
We had 3 that I got.
That's right. CMFO was the comptroller's letter
Mm-hmm.
that I take very seriously. And I'm not happy about the city recorder making a call to the comptroller's office. But she can call, she's a citizen,
Well,
and
I'm not very happy about you discussing the CMFO with Stevie Smith.
I didn't talk to Steve.
I don't, I mean, I think that's something that we have to, if we're aware of it, we have to make them aware of the possibility that possibly could have happened. I'd rather be safe than sorry,
Absolutely.
because if it was a violation of that act, everything that we approved or rejected is void.
Absolutely.
So that's part of that.
And if that's not true, I apologize. So that's just what was told to me.
Maybe you need to ask me. I got my information from the mayor. So.
That's fine.
And what else?
I take the comptroller's letter very seriously.
Exactly.
Very seriously.
That's why I didn't respond to the email.
But you didn't file the complaint.
No.
Okay.
No, Miss Carly did.
And I did not file it against anybody specifically.
Okay.
But there was a records request
There was a
My
record
stuff.
request for your emails to Kirk.
from you, correct?
To Kirk.
From you.
Yes.
You requested.
Yes.
And nobody else's. So, and.
Because your emails included information about me. So I requested all documentation that was labeled with my name in it.
And so, if
Well-
I connect the dots, the comptroller complaint is probably about me, right?
No, it was a broad complaint.
Could have been about me, because I was on that email. But anyway,
But I did
that's-
request the emails from Kirk.
That's,
Well,
Yeah.
when I talked to the lady, she said that it was specifically about Councilman Deloach.
okay.
Because what was told to her at the comptroller's office is not anonymous. It's not kept confidential.
It was including the emails. It included the email. So yes. I said it was broad. It was including the emails.
We also need, and we could do this in the working session if you want, but we also need to purchase a digital recording system. All of our meetings need to be recorded, not by cell phone.
They're not by cell phone.
I think Kurt and I have talked a little bit about that. Which I don't know, I was gonna get y'all's feeling. I'm not, ready to do this without anybody, or everybody's approval. That
I mean,
we
I
had
think
actually,
need one.
I was actually wanting the video
Absolutely,
and then post it on YouTube.
absolutely.
Now, I'm not real thrilled about being on camera. And it's not because of this or anything else. I don't like my picture being taken. That's the way I am. But I mean, that's definitely something that we can talk about during the work session and see. And then, if everybody's in agreement, then we'll bring it up at a council meeting. And
Absolutely. And then the other was, all of the council members need a City of Charlotte email that we just need a City of Charlotte email for each of us. It'll be easier for the public to get in touch with us. I mean, right now I don't know what your email is. I don't really know what Turtle's is. I don't know what Chad's is.
well, I have one, but
But it would be nice to have the city provide us. A lot of cities across
true.
the state are going to that.
True.
It's just easier. That way, when there is a records request or something, Mr. Vandervoort can, it's easier to get those emails. Am I not correct?
It's a scenario where if that's the mode of communication it should be, you're not subjecting your own personal emails to it, especially if you're establishing that, in fact, here's the mode of communication with the public, with the mayor's office, with town recorder, all of that. It makes sense.
I was also approached by a lady that lives in Cedar View that was saying that the road is horrible through there.
It is.
really needs to be paved.
It is.
I did not bring that up in any meetings because I live there and I didn't want to be.
Well, it's
is
already
bad.
it's already been on my mind because I've traveled some city streets. Paving was one of the things that I wanted to do because we do have some streets that are awful. However, of course, I was explained that street and Briarwood are not up to code. They never were brought up to code, but I mean, still, that's something I want to look into.
Yeah.
And that's,
What do we need to do to bring them up to code? What do they,
I don't have a clue.
Chad, do you have any ideas?
Whenever they were installed after the houses were built, they're supposed to come back in with a topping on them, and they're supposed to pass a compaction test. And as far as I know, that was never done.
Just as far as the type of pavement that's on
Yes.
the road? Okay.
Or the manhole covers.
One right in front of your house.
Yeah.
One I moved the other
I
day.
hate to be that way. I thank you for doing that, but I told my wife, I said, you must have came and moved that because I've tried to move
How
that.
high does it stick up? Or how? I couldn't remember. I was
Yeah.
down there a while back.
Yeah.
It gets hit every now and then. They move it off the manhole. Have to move it back. Whenever they were going to put the topping on there, my understanding was that was supposed to be paved into place, and it never was.
I don't know if that's
a big liability.
Right.
I don't know if that's a code. I didn't know if that had to do with the code or not. I don't know. I don't know what. I'd been told when I first moved there that there were some code issues with the road. I didn't know what.
Yeah. But I still think because it's in the city, it's more or less our responsibility to take care of the road.
Yeah, if it's a
That's-
city road, I think it is.
Yeah.
Let's take care of it.
So that's another thing we can discuss. Because just because I picked the road doesn't mean that that's the road we're going to
Sure.
resurface. But I mean, I'd like to get feedback from others. So we'll handle that in a work session.
And one other thing, I had someone to approach me about Loggins Road / Charlotte Fagan Road. Charlotte Fagan, it's marked Loggins Road at the end. But it's actually Fagan Chapel Road. And the lady that approached me said that she was worried that the ambulance department might go along the highway down around and it would cause them some minutes to get to her house. So I don't know why it was called, it's Loggins Road at the sign, but everybody's address on that road is Charlotte Fagan.
You're talking about right across from Hafner?
Yes, kind of, well, it's...
Kind of veers off to the
Right
left.
before that.
Yes,
You gotta
behind
come into the church,
Living Water
Living Waters
Church.
Church.
I was just asked, the lady said that she just worried about it.
Okay. Well, I see her concern, but that road's just like this one right out here. I mean, we never called it Spring Street. It was always Loggins Road.
Right,
And then Fagan's Chapel was down at the bottom of the hill.
right.
Google Maps does it like that too.
So,
labeled the same
But
way
we-
that it is on their street signs. We had a fire down there a couple weeks ago.
How did it come up?
It came up Fagan's Chapel Road because the fire was actually down at the
Because
very
there's
bottom of
a
the hill.
sign there that says Loggins Road.
Yes, ma'am.
Excuse me, I own property down there, and it's marked 2 different ways.
Okay.
And it is something to be concerned about in my opinion.
Okay. And that's
Yeah,
what,
it's Charlotte Fagan, right?
It's not
It
Charles
just says
Fagan, it's Fagan Chapel.
I'm sorry, Fagan Chapel,
Yes, ma'am.
sorry, Fagan Chapel.
Yeah.
okay.
So that was mine.
All righty.
The other, like Mr. Deloach, I wanted to make a short statement. First, I want to commend Councilman Deloach for stepping up and speaking from his heart at the last meeting in January and again tonight. Thank you, Chris, for speaking out. I respect that. And I too have been the victim of rumors and bullying to change my vote. Councilman Deloach, you are a good, honest, and caring person, and you deserve nothing less than respect. I actually thought that the untrue, bad rumors, backbiting, and scare tactics would end after the last meeting, and I was wrong. I came prepared tonight to defend myself, but I've changed my mind. Facebook untruths and bad rumors just aren't worth my time and consideration. I know that bad rumors and bad Facebook comments are made by individuals who haven't taken the time to even come to a meeting to ask questions or to contact me face to face. I have absolutely nothing to hide, and I shouldn't have to defend my ethics and behavior. I have learned that you can't make everyone happy, and if you try to make everyone happy, then you end up making everybody mad. I've said it before and I'll say it again. I'm just one vote, and I will always base my voting on the citizens of Charlotte that reach out to me and those who take the time to show up at the meetings. That speaks volumes. I am not going to quit this council, if anybody's heard that. I will not be forced out by juvenile scare tactics. I want to say this to each of you council members. Remember, you are each just one vote. Stand by what you believe in and don't let anyone knock you down. Please do not let anyone or one of those bad, hurtful, and untruthful rumors keep you from holding your head up. I am proud of each one of you because you have taken on a hard job that others want to criticize and manipulate. Mr. Van Dorp, I want to thank you, sir, for taking on the job of city attorney. We can be a tough group to keep up with, but I personally want to thank you for watching out for us. I'm glad you are here and that you represent the mayor and the council's best interest. Mayor Breeden, I want to commend you and thank you for taking on this hard and sometimes troubling job of mayor. Just like all of us, you are new to this situation. And I still consider myself new because things were done quite differently my first term on council. We have got to come together and work together because if we don't, then nothing is going to get done and the city of Charlotte will definitely suffer. To me, being elected a Charlotte council member is an honor and something that I do not and will not take lightly. But I thank all of you for serving. And that's it.
Okay, we'll move on to committee reports and start with the city attorney.
Mr. Mayor, not for discussion tonight, I want your attention, I'm going to hand down, Mr. Tate, I'll just pass one, everybody will take one, it's a council member and town reporter and mayor. This is a draft of the employee handbook that I would suggest that we consider taking up, maybe as the mayor has said, in a work session, would be good. And I think it would just behoove us to, because of the nature of the council and just the evolution of it, I think it's a good thing for us to consider. And also, we would have a social media policy. And last but not least, a draft of cell phone use policy. Again, all these are just drafts, not for discussion this evening, but certainly discussion in a work session. And this is a work in progress. It's not a final document. And quite frankly, it'd be left up to you all to make a decision whether you want to adopt one of them, all three of them, or none of them. But certainly not here to discuss it tonight. I'm sure you're not, because you're just now getting the document. So that's really all I have, Mr. Mayor.
Okay. Finance, anything?
I submitted a 7-month actual versus the budget last year for
Okay.
your review.
Okay.
Budgets start in April.
I was gonna say, we need to start setting a meeting to work on this. I imagine we'll be a little slower since we're new.
True. And the budget has to be turned in by June 30th, correct? So,
We got 4 months, I
yeah,
guess.
so, you know, if you want to take a
Get a start.
couple of sessions, maybe, and then see where we go from there.
Very good to me.
Absolutely. I mean,
So,
I would say it's probably to try to meet in March. We got how many months? June 30th?
well, March, April, May,
March, April.
June, got 4 months.
We have time, it's just something we need to stay on top of so we don't get behind.
Maybe we'll set a date next meeting or something like that.
Typically, we start in April and it's able to be done by June.
Okay. We'll do that. We'll come up with a date. Wastewater board, you got anything new going on?
Everything's covered on the list, I believe.
Did you resolve Mr. Luna's?
It's unclogged for now. There was a blockage in their service line coming from their house, and Udinski was able to unclog that.
Okay.
Hadn't had any problems that I know of since then.
So did that, I guess, that's resolved the neighbors as well?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Both of them's tied on that same line. They snaked that out, and whenever it broke free, everything.
They
was
probably
flowing.
just have a lot stiffer snake, don't they?
They've got a roto rooter
Yeah.
that they run through there.
Okay. All right.
It's in the Cooper.
Yeah, Water Street and Hooper down there. Street and bridges. We have Mr. Boberson here with us. You have anything to report on those?
They're all good.
Street-
We did a pothole list up, drove all over the city to find all the potholes we could. I turned that list in to the city for
Okay.
potholes to be filled.
All right. Street lights and signs.
As
Everything.
far as I know, street lights and signs are good. I usually run the roads about every other month to check on the street lights. I did that last month, and I only caught one, and it's staying on all the time.
Okay. Is it a LED?
It's LED.
Yeah, that's all right. That ain't costing Dixon Electric that much money. And since I don't work there no more, that's their problem. Public safety.
Good evening. Just wanted to kind of give you an update. The last month, we've had one structure fire destroyed a gentleman's garage. It was accidental ignition. We did save his house. It melted the siding off of his house, melted the back of his truck, destroyed a bass boat, a side-by-side, and a zero-turn lawnmower. But we were able to save the gentleman's house. That came out on a Sunday afternoon. We had 4 fire departments on the scene. We had a total of 24 people on the scene, and so we had lots of manpower, and we were fortunate with that. This past week, I found out Monday morning that Shannon wasn't going to be at the fire hall for the next couple of weeks. In that period of time, we've had 2 calls that we didn't have anybody available to respond. One was a Jeep flipped over just yesterday. And so the closest responder was one of our automatic aid was coming from Dixon. I try to be as transparent as possible, and that's one of our struggles. One of our full-time volunteers. He was a pastor. He's a pastor at the church. He actually moved out of the city, therefore he's no longer available, hardly at all now. Also, we have just one member of our fire department that lives inside the city limits. And so, I ran down the numbers from last year, as I mentioned last council meeting. Last year, we had at least 169 calls for service. With those, we actually responded to 114 of those. On duty while it was during business hours, during the week, and I'm bringing up Shannon because he's the common denominator, business hours here at the fire hall, provided through the Emergency Management Agency. He had 59 calls for service, and his average response time was 2.5 minutes, getting from the call time into the truck on the way to the call. His longest response time was 6 minutes. That was recorded, and that's probably shorter than that. It's just whenever they time-stamped it at dispatch. Off-duty calls was 55 total. That's from a time period outside of 8 a.m. to 4 p.m., Monday through Friday. We had a call for 55 total. Our average response time was great, just over 13 minutes. And that's from us getting from the house to a truck, not the truck on the scene. And so you can add an average of about 5 more minutes to that. Our longest response time was 19 minutes to get a truck en route to the call. And there again, with the population during the day, our call volumes increased substantially. As far as the last 2 calls, between the last Monday, a week ago yesterday, and tonight, we've had 2 calls. We didn't have anybody to respond. We have also been notified that the new TVA pipeline, the route for it will actually be coming through our fire zone. So I wanted to advise the city council for that. It's coming along the big transmission lines out in the Dole area.
Yeah.
And be cutting across country, of course. While we're talking about the budget for the next upcoming year, I'd like to include some in our budget for marketing and for our new firefighters and our existing firefighters. We haven't had t-shirts made for the members in years. And so I'd like to include a little bit of that, give the guys a little bit of incentive to come down and spend their family time for the city, especially since only one of them lives in the city.
Yeah.
We do it more for fun and for recreation, to be honest. I don't know why that comes about, but we just like helping people. And in November, it'll be 34 years I've been doing it, so I just like helping people. Our equipment is really coming up to speed. We've got some things that we've budgeted the last couple of months that we bought. We're getting some new hose coming. We won a $45,000 grant for air packs. And so that's all on the line. Just getting them produced and delivered is what we're waiting for.
One quick
Yes,
suggestion. We had a call today about the mail out you guys did,
Yes,
and they
ma'am.
thought it was fake.
Oh, good.
Because they said the fire truck did not look like Charlotte's fire truck on
Okay.
the letter.
I'll address that tonight.
So
I'll scan it and put it on social media if it's okay.
I wanted to let you know. I wanted to let you know that your funds may be larger because they think it's a scam. And she called, and she was supposed to call you to donate some water.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can always use water. Otherwise, I go and get it on my personal time at Costco.
Yeah.
But regardless, we appreciate the past support that the council's given to us. I know a lot of us are rookies. I've only been chief for about 4 years now, and so I still consider myself a rookie as far as being a chief. And all of my captains, so there's only one captain that's been a captain for over 10 years. And so we're all rookies. We're learning together. We're growing together. We had a great turnout for this call on Sunday afternoon. But if it were to happen on Monday at 10 o'clock, then we'd be calling for even more help, more than 4 fire departments. Do you guys have anything for us? Or for me?
Mr. Honeycutt, the one thing that I would like to see is if you could put down, I guess, you mentioned last time you're wanting to be a little bit more active with the budget.
Yes, sir.
If you can let us know, or I think that you let Leah, maybe send Leah an email
Yes.
of everything, maybe, I guess, new or existing or whatever.
Right.
Anything to help us figure out what we're looking at would be very helpful.
Right, most certainly. One thing I would like to propose, and it's totally, of course, at the mayor's discretion and the council's discretion. We've had situations where we were invited up to look at the books for the fire department's account. We had a great text message back and forth. I'm building a house right now. I work 48 hours a week. That's every week. And I'm also, my business is exploding since NFL players died on the field, as I teach CPR. But I would recommend that if we could get a copy, not the original of course, but just a copy of our bank statement every month. That would keep us up to date about what we got in there, what we're spending it on, what our donations are coming in. That would be a kind of streamlined, rather than just coming and looking at the books.
I gave Shannon several copies of the expenditures and revenues.
You gave us the expenditures out of like a spreadsheet, but I'm just thinking about just the statement from the bank.
It's just where I reconcile the bank accounts.
I got you.
So it's just, I mean, use statements for the bank, but I reconcile the bank accounts
Right.
as well.
Yeah. Sometimes it's kind of hard to differentiate where the money goes, if you know what I mean, and where the money comes in from. I know we get deposits from the county, we get deposits from donations, and of course our yearly budget as well.
So the donations is separated into donations in the spreadsheet, and the county is Dixon County, Tennessee in the spreadsheet. So those are the only two donations you typically get. And then your expenditures was set up with fire department expenditures and revenues. So
Okay.
they're just two codes.
Me personally, if we could just see the statement from the bank every month.
Just trying to help you understand the statement, though, about how it's set up. Yeah.
We have this much coming in, we have this much in the account at the beginning of the month, this is what came in, went out. We have, actually documentation of what each check went for. And then that would help us with the budget even in the upcoming years. Because there's a couple of years we don't have records for apparently, or you don't have a spreadsheet for, or it wasn't in the system or something.
I didn't have a Sage account set up for it, but I do have it in the audit.
Okay.
But it's not a record of each individual check. It's
Sure.
just the auditor came through, went through everything, compiled your statement.
Okay.
Do you need a motion to?
I'll let you
I don't-
guys talk.
I don't think
talk
we'd
about
have to have a motion to provide them with a bank
Because
statement.
I think it's a public record. so-
That's,
Yeah.
Richard,
it. Yes, sir.
have they repaired the cables on the door yet?
Yes, sir. It's already been taken care of.
Okay. All right. And just I don't know if you can throw this out there or not.
Sure.
If the city were to hire a full-time fireman,
Yes, sir.
what kind of salary would we be looking at?
I'll get you a study of the size of the city, what comparable compensation would be. Of course, it will cost the city more than that because of taxes and benefits and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Another proposal we could actually approach the county with is just giving the county the money and them hiring another person. And then that way we might be able to be a little bit more attractive because the county can offer different benefits than I guess the city can.
Okay.
That's just another option that we can come up with.
Well, that's something that I wanted, if we could discuss it with the budget and stuff.
Yeah, I'll have.
Or we can
numbers
talk
for you.
about it in the work session.
If you can give that along with everything else.
Yes, sir.
then that'd be great.
Sounds great.
Parks and Recreation. Now I know there's been rumors that the mayor's going to cut down the tree at the three-way stop. That's wrong. The mayor is looking
Facebook.
to get it trimmed. And did Glenn ever send you?
It's $1,000 for the second portion.
The only reason that I even consider it is how dangerous it is. Because if you don't know electricity, if that limb grows a little further and touches that three-phase wire and you walk over there or a kid walks over there and touches that tree, guess what? He's gone. But anyway, the electric department who strings the lights on the tree said they would not do it anymore until the tree was trimmed. Because, like I said, that one guy had to cover up the one wire because he couldn't even get the bucket between the limbs and the wire. So I am looking into getting it trimmed. I have received 2 bids that I thought we may look at next month. One of them was $3,500, and then one of them was $1,000. So
Mr. Mayor, is the electric company not willing to cut us a deal or something?
Now, they don't trim anymore.
Okay.
They don't trim. Only time that even if they're gonna cut in and install a new line, they don't even cut the trees then. But that's something they got out of a long time ago to save money.
Understood.
I think that's the only thing that I had with Parks and Recreation. But just to verify, if the tree gets cut down, I didn't give the authority.
So it's $650 to trim and remove, and top trim and remove is $1,000 for Glenn Jenkins, and then all the above is $3,500 from Pinnacle, which is David Maloney, who lives here in Charlotte.
Beautification.
The fire hall looks better since those shrubs are gone.
Brady
Yeah,
starts.
it does, doesn't it?
Brady starts tomorrow.
Got a carport on the end.
Yes.
Get the 2 trucks under. Planning and zoning.
We didn't have a meeting.
No meeting,
No.
What's
We had
coming
one
up?
but you're gonna have one.
Thursday.
You're gonna have one Thursday, March the 2nd. New construction. I'm still under construction. And the way it's going, I may be under construction this time next year. Ambulance service.
No, sir. I reached
What?
out again to him, left him a voicemail actually this morning, so.
What happened over at the ambulance service? You said the insurance wouldn't.
The screws that backed out of the roof, which is causing it to leak. And where they backed out leaking, it's the drywall or ceiling on there has fell in. In our side and above the ambulance center side, but it's not in the ambulance center bay.
Insurance company.
No.
Say about insurance?
Neglect. It's neglect, not. So
Yeah,
who do we have
not
insurance
storm
with?
damage.
It's not storm damage.
Doesn't matter.
It's public entity partners. They
I mean,
cover.
if that happens to my house, insurance fixes it
Yeah, it sounds like storm.
after I meet the deductible. So I meant to ask you who we have the insurance with.
Public entity partners. They cover most municipalities, almost all.
Okay.
We need to get a quote to get that fixed, or,
I'm thinking we should.
again, I called and left Mr. Barrett a message again today, haven't received one phone call back.
Yeah.
So
If he's in the hazmat tech class, he's probably tied up.
I am fully confident that he is definitely doing something, for sure. I know how busy those guys can be. I'd really like to help them out any way I can, if, there's a way to, so.
Yeah.
He's the director of the ambulance service and the assistant director of EMA.
Yeah.
So he's got a lot of hats.
Oh, yeah.
So this is the
Boy, is what
damage.
you're saying.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So we can get somebody to give us estimates without making a motion. Correct. I can get estimates.
I've got 2 people.
Less than $5,000.
But
I've
then,
got 2 people that's supposed to be turning in estimates on it soon.
okay. That's all I have. Again, planning and zoning meeting Thursday, March the 2nd, wastewater meeting the 14th, and the next scheduled council meeting, March the 28th. Unless, there might be a work session called sometime in the next week before that council meeting, or we can have the work session the night of the council meeting. Whichever y'all would prefer to do.
In regards to.
Just discussing some of the things that
Gotcha.
we've brought up tonight.
Why don't we do it the week before, at least, maybe 2 weeks before? Or we can discuss it and then go home and mull it over.
Tuesdays work better.
What?
What was that?
Tuesdays work well for me. I don't know.
How, I guess we've never done one, we don't know how long one will last, huh?
Yeah. Well, I mean, we don't have to discuss everything
Sure.
that we brought up. We can just maybe talk about.
The Tuesday before the meeting?
Well, I think that would be better. March the 21st.
Mr. Mayor, you'll have to give notice of that.
Yes.
We have
Yeah.
to put it. We have to notify the public.
Does that give us enough time?
It's gotta advertise it 10
now,
days.
correct me if I'm wrong. Did they not tell us in that academy that it doesn't have to be 10 days? It's only got to be 3?
It's gotta be reasonable notice depending on what the scenario is. You know, if you know you're gonna have it on a date certain, probably, it's probably good to go ahead and advertise it.
Okay.
You know you're gonna have it.
March 21st.
Is that March 21st?
Yes, sir.
Same time, 7 o'clock?
Wait, March the 21st, not the 20th.
Correct. That's where I won't be able to be here, but that's, you all can go on without me unless
Okay.
you need me here. Actually, I'm on vacation that week. So.
He wants to change, I mean, you can change it.
I'm very close. I can't remember if my flight leaves that day or the next day, to be honest with you.
Oh, is that spring break?
Yes.
Yeah, that's spring break, so that's not gonna work for,
You want to do it the week of the the 14th?
I don't have my calendar, but I'm thinking the 14th, is that not?
No, it's
the 17th is when it starts.
Okay, okay.
And I think we could at least get something accomplished beforehand if people are able to be here. And if we do it at like 5 or 5:30 or something. Is that
Sounds good to me.
the day of our original meeting?
I'm up for whatever.
I'm fine with that.
I have no issues.
So we just have a work session the day of the meeting,
March 28th.
which will be at 5 or 5:30, which 5? Is that okay? 5 o'clock?
So March 28th at 5.
Mm-hmm.
We'll be here or
Probably be here. I mean, I don't know. You know, we really, since we've had people attend the meetings, we can't have it over there.
sure.
If we have it over there, some of them might be in the basement. Anything else?
I have one thing I want to clarify, just to finish out. I submitted the open records request because there was an email sent concerning me being tagged on Facebook and answering sidewalk posts. And I was vetted through the mayor and Kirk as a fax public record. The email was sent because posting on social media. I'm not the only person in this room that posts on social media. So I submitted for the records because I did not like a complaint filed on me about social media when there's also other posts. And that's all I want to clarify.
Who made the other post? Are you talking
Turtle.
other council members?
Turtle.
Oh,
What post did I make?
So like I say, I want that behind us, and I don't want to have it happen again. If it does, no, I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to, because I've got more authority than I realized. But if it continues to happen, I'm willing to exercise that authority. So anyway, do I have a motion?
Can I have just a second? Can you pause and just say, I need to ask Brett something.
We'll do a meeting.
Do I have a motion that we adjourn?
motion.
Caleb makes a motion we adjourn. Second. Leah, second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
I'd like to congratulate the mayor and all of the council. You got a heck of a job. You're doing good, it seems like. You're mixing it up. That's the way it should be. Talk about it, discuss it. And very good,
Thanks.
very good.
I did.
I came here to check on my dear